She was my intern, she's making almost 90 in Southborough. That's
People
all.
gotta start waking up.
Hey Charlie, how are you?
Good, Pete, how are you? Hey, George.
Got a sign in the back of my truck and got sick of lifting it up at the water treatment plant, so I'm gonna pick it up. God forbid that they pick it up, huh?
Comments,
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
How's Sue?
She's doing well. I mean, she's got her slow down times, but not huge amount of it.
Okay.
But we just changed her medication a little bit. That's helped. So.
Good.
Yeah. Positive. We had a meeting with her neurologist last week ago today,
Yes.
and so we made a couple of. Well, I had made a swap before on
Well,
this.
she paid the last time we were here, and she paid. And I was wondering myself, do you always have to supply her, I mean, she can't take the stuff herself? Even if alarm goes off, you know, the buzzer goes off and,
She gets confused.
but I mean, you don't have, you know, when you hear the buzzer, take this.
Well, that's what I've said, because I've got little containers that are about that round,
Yeah.
and on the top I put the hour that they're.
Yeah, but she's gotta remember to do it.
Well, she still asks me.
Yeah, but so in other words, even if the phone went off or something went off or
Yeah.
she wouldn't remember how to do it or?
No, she, most of the time she's okay, but there's
Okay.
times that there's a challenge.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. What are we looking at here?
Craig isn't gonna be here tonight.
Craig isn't?
No.
Is he okay?
Yeah, it's, his wife fell and broke her hip.
Oh, no.
She's over at Litchfield Wood.
Did she have to have surgery?
Oh, yeah, she
Yeah.
had to have,
Surgery,
Partial
now
hip.
she's in rehab.
yeah,
Yeah, oh my God.
yep. So, well, it is what it is.
How did, Ruth seemed pretty steady. How did she, I mean, what
No,
happened?
She's
What
just
happened?
shoveled. Well, since Craig, he's had multiple surgeries and complications, so she stayed clear of the hospital, other than as a visitor. So, I don't know. It's one of those situations that, and Will Platt, he's not gonna be here. They're out in Colorado.
Listen, if Felix comes, I want to see him.
Well, I'm gonna see both of you.
Yeah,
For about what, a month?
yeah.
See Troy.
You're back to work again.
Hey, George, see Troy for the.
The funniest thing is the way I had,
That's fine.
I'm all right.
pool,
Okay.
in a pool
Felix
house.
called me and
And it was
said,
at
I
a
don't think it's
house
gonna be a
that
long
I
meeting. I
approved
said, it isn't.
20-some years ago, so I
He said,
knew the
well,
property.
he says, I got a couple of things I'd like to do.
that awesome?
I says, the two members missed
Same
this.
owner, which is
Please.
really
I haven't seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
After 20-something
Yeah.
years there, you'd think they'd have all their
Yeah.
remodeling done.
Right.
Did you read this?
No, I just got here and I opened this because I wanted to take a look at the map.
I can understand
You know
that.
what I noted though on this thing, that Pam gave us last week, you know, was this.
Yeah, right.
That, this part where they have, they've, the Connecticut legislature
Yeah, right.
removed any limit on,
The number of people.
so I mean, you know, 48 applicants could come into
Oh,
one
it's
seat.
true.
So
But-
it says.
But it's not, it's the state is gonna kinda direct that. The state has put the,
Okay, so in other words, like in larger cities, they'll say, okay, you can have 10 of these things.
yeah, well, they're not
They'll
even gonna limit it. It's gonna be,
But-
they're gonna limit how many licenses are gonna be out there.
But not where.
No, no.
Exactly, so that's why this says at the end, commissions should take action now to address this use as a town could face unprecedented demand for the, okay. Well, the point is, we don't have anything that says if we
No,
had
a limitation.
10 applicants who wanted to put them in different locations, that they could do that. I mean, I guess we've already limited it by the way
Spacing. I
by the
guess.
way the reg is done. You can't do it on Main Street anyway.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't think it's,
okay, I understand. Okay, hey Pam.
hey, Pam,
Like, Amy, happy
But the
birthday.
reg already kind of addresses that just by, not specifically, but there's no place,
I'm not gonna shh.
unless 3 of them wanted to go in Lynchburg.
Oh, and by the way,
All right, well,
I'm
this-
still not getting any emails.
You know me, I always think of all the,
no, I know,
Nothing.
no, it's good, I'm glad you're thinking about it.
I'm gonna put a reminder in my phone for,
LamirTroy@gmail.com. That's my new one. I almost forgot about that.
deli on Main Street, huh?
Yeah,
You can always use a good deli, if it's authentic.
yeah,
Looks like it's gonna be, Italian. Well, they have to, so they have to go back to wetlands? That's
we're
what
gonna
this-
have to see, but, yeah, I know.
That's what Mike said.
Yeah, I know, I was reading that earlier.
George, our little meeting, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think everybody kinda enjoyed that, really.
I hope everybody listens to what was said there and we start doing what we're supposed to do.
I hope so, but I was pleased,
Yeah.
you know, we had really a good turnout.
There was
Yeah.
participation, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah. They answered them, they were happy with it, so.
yeah.
Okay, so, well, this is interesting, this overview by Mike.
Yeah, it is interesting.
We can't, it's essentially saying we
I
can't.
did some homework on this too, so.
It looks like we can't even look at it though, because it's above the 25, it's gotta go to ZBA.
Unless they revise it. They can revise
We
it,
revise it. Oh, unless they revise it.
We'll see.
yeah. There's
How
ways,
can they revise it? It is what it is, isn't it?
well,
This is, you're being, this is on film already.
Oh, and we're not supposed to be talking about it?
right, correct.
How are we gonna know anything about it? Okay, go. Okay. So what does Pam's thing say?
Oh, she's working on it right now. It's quite an enforcement thing.
oh yeah.
Oh, I see, so that kind of,
And the things that
oh,
are going
that
on
is
could be doing
Mike's.
twice as much,
Okay.
you know? I mean, and that's a lot. That's probably 10
Yeah,
times
I think
what's
there's
been
a
done in
better
the
way
last.
to present it, but it's just a.
I still would like to see him come to our meeting at least once a month.
Yeah, that's it. Just to see more, listen to what we have to say too, and
Right.
what we're looking at.
Because I see him at the wetlands, because I watched the,
Oh, you do?
yeah, the meeting, so he's there.
There's a little excavation going on next to you.
Yeah,
It's the first time they put any stairs going up to the upper level.
Oh, yeah?
he did it,
Which-
he,
Picasso's
they're
house.
done in
Oh,
2
for Casa
days.
Whole House, yeah.
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 2 days, done. I don't know if he's gonna do a patio or out back
I
or
don't, I
whatever, but,
saw them act it, cause I was trimming some stuff late this afternoon and they were still working.
yeah, they put, big granite stones.
Yeah,
And then they put boulders on the side of it. It actually looks really nice.
yeah, well, I give them credit for doing that, that's, it's been in there a
It
long
didn't
time.
even bother me. No noise.
Well, they did close it,
Huh?
they did take ownership of it.
Yeah, did you see that in the paper?
Yeah. I saw that.
little,
Got
little
a break
number.
there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Keep it
His dad owned,
Well, there were
Dad owned-
five people on it.
right,
Yeah.
part of it, so,
Yeah.
it looks like some of them didn't take anything, so.
Yeah.
I think just two did, looks like to me, anyway, that's what I saw.
Oh, good for him.
But he's gotta spend money in there, there's some issues with the house.
Yeah. I've never been in it, but I guess from what you described, there's outstanding work that has to be done.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, George, that house sat vacant for a very long time, so.
Yep.
What's this thing on North Main Street? Did you look at the enforcement?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
North Main Street, there's no address, so it's like, what is it?
Which one, which page?
Two. Second item.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Do we know where that is? I mean, I know where North Main Street is, but where on North Main Street?
That's.
That's
there-
way
There
down.
isn't an address to it, cause it's a rear lot, and if they put an illegal driveway in, that's where they clear cut up on top of the mountain, and guy built these structures and stuff.
Oh, is that right?
Just, if you're coming south, just south of the Shell station,
Yeah, yeah.
you'll see.
I see the end
a
cut.
driveway goes in
There's a
sideways up the
porta
hill.
potty up
Oh, yeah. If you look on Realtor.com, you'll see all the pictures, photographs.
Oh.
What was done. Cause I saw it, and that's been ongoing 6 or 8 months or so. The guy did that, he was working their weekends, hauling some material off and dirt and, yeah, yeah.
So I gave this to the applicant's engineer first, and you didn't have too much discussion, but it literally came a couple minutes ago.
The Jim Rollins, that he,
So wait until,
yeah.
you know, I think the applicant's gonna be seeking a continuance. And, you know, you don't,
You haven't heard from anybody else? Craig's not gonna be here. Who else is there?
Lily?
Willie Platt.
yeah, he's, right, we know about Will, and you
Yeah.
know about
I
Craig.
talked to
haven't heard
Felix.
from John or
He's
Felix.
Felix I talked to tonight.
He'll be here?
So John usually, he'll come in
Yeah.
in about 30 seconds. Thanks. Thank you.
Evening?
How old am I? So this thing just came tonight. This is we discussed, this was just.
I've got one more, member. Here comes John. Thank you, John.
It's the kind of gal I am.
Should go back.
I thought I was early.
You are.
Right there.
I actually thought I was 5 minutes early.
This is, this was just got handed to us, which is part of this,
Okay.
first $5 sweat. You all set, Ken?
I did $5.
All right, we'll open the 7 o'clock meeting, August 8th, regular planning and zoning meeting. For a roll call, I'm George Clausen, chairman. Craig Sandin is absent excused. John Cooney, Peter Marchand to my left. Willie Platt is absent excused. Troy Lemire is on the far left of me. Charlene Lavoy and Felix Viner. So we've got two members not here tonight, so I'd like to put Troy in to be seated tonight, and Felix, if you could be seated for us. And there's nobody other than you folks that are here, so no public comment. Agenda review, anything tonight on the agenda review? Okay. Other business, anything, Pam? No. So number 5 is the continuation of public hearing, PZC 22-08, special permit, applicant owner Sherwood Dawson, location is 538 West Wakefield Boulevard, map 038, block 115, lot 006. Proposal, reconstruct dwelling and add stairs, retaining walls, and grading on slope in excess of 15% as per section 3.d.5 and 5B, PZC 22-09, special permit, applicant owner Sherwood Dawson, location West Wakefield Boulevard, map 038, block 115, lot 003B, proposal, temporary access for well on slope in excess of 15% as per section 3.d.5 and associated site work construction. So this is a continuation of the public hearing we opened at our last session 2 weeks ago. We did receive tonight a letter that was submitted from Jim Rollins, who I guess reviewed with you. He did not?
I've just seen it. I
Okay.
was handed it tonight, so I had a chance to go over it with you.
Okay, all right. Well, what this is Jim has reviewed the plan. And it's this is the 538 West Wakefield Boulevard, 22-09, so it's the second part of the two-part application. The excavation for well, Sherwood Dawson. The existing, number one, the existing slope averages about 25% from the edge of the road to the proposed well location. There are parts of the existing slope that currently exceed 50% slope. Therefore, a far more detailed construction sequence is needed. It must spell out the fine details of each step of the project to communicate that the project is feasible and that it will control erosion and sedimentation during and after construction. 2, the revised plan. The revised plan is significantly more disturbance than the earlier version, and this is the revised plan that we have in our packets that were given to us on Friday. It's also significant side slope to contend with above and beyond the proposed 25% slope when navigating the well driller to the well location. 4, how is the applicant going to stabilize the site during construction and even more so after returning the slope to the existing conditions where the slope exceeds 50%? 5, I suggest a letter from the well driller stating that the proposed plan is feasible. Number 6, cut back 12-inch beyond trench for permanent pavement repair. And 7, the 4-inch PVC sleeve must be Schedule 40 and needs blue as well as red warning tape. Number 8, additional erosion controls are likely to be needed at the inlet to an existing 12-inch RCP as well as the rip-rap swale that leads directly to the lake. So these are issues that you folks want to pardon me? Oh, sorry. Number 9, the steepest slopes are on the right-of-way, town right-of-way, and after construction, the town will become responsible to maintain this disturbed slope with a trench that will most likely intercept the seasonal high groundwater level, which creates a likely icy road situation in the winter. In my opinion, this property is not appropriate for this development. Public Works is not willing to accept this erosion an ice liability. Therefore, I recommend the PZC deny this application as it's been presented. This is something that you'll have to look at this and take a review of what you can do.
So just for the record, before the applicant and his consulting planner begin, that was a memorandum dated August 8th, 2022, marked as draft. Also to introduce into the record is a letter dated August 5th to George Clausen from zoning enforcement officer Michael Stankoff, as well as an email to Mr. Connor and Mr. Dawson from Michael Stankoff. I know that you would have gotten the email, but I want to be certain that you have it.
Can read that if you want.
Okay,
Oh,
sure.
it's in the record.
Peter
read
will
that.
read that into the record.
Yeah, this is the email or letter from Michael Stankoff, Friday, August 5th, 2022, to George Cotter, Woody Dawson, Pam Columbi, CC. Review of revised drawings submitted for 8/4/22. Morning all. After reviewing your plans for your PZC application yesterday, I've had time to review the plan and note the following. 1, the grading plan for the well lot has been revised from the plans approved by wetlands. This constitutes a change to the work being conducted in the upland review area. As a result, the applicant must revisit the Inland Wetlands Commission for a modification of their permit. 2, steep slope regulations measuring the proposed grade changes on this lot. I am consistently finding that the grades are sitting at or above 25%. Zoning regulations are clear that disturbance of these slopes, including clearing of vegetation, is allowed only for purposes of public utility or public safety, neither of which are the intention here. These grade changes cannot be approved by the PZC and must be either modified again to be below this threshold or taken before the ZBA for a variance. 3, I have concern about the nature of the lot after any excavation and installation of the well is done. This lot is heavily vegetated with brush and small trees. Completely removing this foliage will be required to install the well. After installing the well, it is unclear if the site will be purposely revegetated with native plants to restore it to its current state as quickly as possible. Additionally, if maintenance or repairs are required on the well, it's unclear if substantial disturbance of this vegetation would be required. Such disturbance would again require approvals from ZBA because of the steep slope of the site. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you submit a ZBA application by Monday, there will be time for proper noticing to get you on the agenda for the August meeting so as not to hold the project. If however you do not wish to go to the ZBA, you'll need to revise your plan to have a less steep slope.
Thank you. And what's the date on, that was the?
That was dated August 5th, 2022.
Okay. Do you have a copy of that?
I just get,
You just have it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but the August 5th letter to you, George, is different from the email, because there's an additional point. In the letter, it's number 2. It's not on the email.
The grading plan to the well
Yeah.
lot has been revised from the plans approved by wetlands. This constitutes a change to the work being conducted in the upland review area. As a result, the applicant must revisit Inland Wetlands Commission for modification of their permit. Let me read
The rest of it's the same.
Yep, you're right. So that was an additional consideration. Is there anything else from the town staff? Okay. So, here we are.
you kind of got me off guard here tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened, because we got this, August 5th, it was from our zoning enforcement officer, and then there was what you just received tonight too, which we just
We
received
got tonight.
as well, yeah.
Just a few things. The plan for the variance in 2014 showed the wall, the stairs on the lot for the lake.
For the
That was
house,
part of the variance. Noted that the stairs and the retaining pad, which is why the wall is placed where it is, was granted as part of the variance.
And of course, that goes with the land, there's no exploration to that.
Sure.
And, that was all done
that's all on the lakeside.
Right, so I
I
think.
mean,
the
I think
lakeside-
everything in these two letters basically refer to the site
The
where the
well.
well is being proposed with the steep
Yes.
slopes.
I
That's
think-
everything that's in those two letters that I could see.
Right. Just as a note, the wall on the south side, the description on the north side is where the stairs on the lake side. The wall on the south side, is actually in front of the slope and is there to lessen the slope up to the grade below. So we're not impacting the slope itself. The definition of a slope, according to your regulations, I'm having a hard time to understand what a slope is. If I'm 16 feet from that wall and I'm up this high, that slope to the floor, I can't build on it. That's, in construction phases, 2-to-1 slope is considered a stable slope in order to maintain the slope. 3-to-1, you mow it, and 4-to-1 is a slope that you put on the sides of roads and expressways. Is considered safe, that it doesn't need any additional barriers for cars to exit. I think with the information we've got to try and figure out with staff where we sit with this in describing what a slope is. If I have a bank 1 foot high and in 3 feet, it changes 1 foot, I can't build on. Is that the intent of the regulation? Needs somehow, the average slope across the road from the top of the bank is 22%. We have talked to a driller, a number of drillers who say that they wouldn't use a truck on this, they'd use a crawler machine, well rig, in order to go up there. I've got to try and figure out if I can, what the slope is that they can work at, that I can work on that slope and minimize the disturbance, I think, is what we need to do. I mean, this is an existing house and an existing lot, and we're trying to conform to regulations, and when we move this way, we seem to be falling back. I've been doing this since 2007, and I still haven't gotten anything up. I've gotten a special permit from this commission. I've gotten 4 wetland permits. And I've gotten 2 variances, and yet I'm back here before this commission trying to figure out just to put a house back up. And the impacts that I need to talk to Jim Rollins, and I wasn't able to meet with him. I need to talk to him and see what it is that I need to demonstrate to him.
Sure.
That the work can be done, and it is my professional opinion that I can put that well on that lot, maintain it. As far as any of the growth on the lot, I was there last year, the growth on the lot was about this high, or maybe this high, here. Now it's invasives that are 8-9 feet tall. Those are not natural plants on that lot. What we would put back on it would be a cover that would minimize the amount of invasives that would be there, and is meant for 2-to-1 slopes to stabilize. Erosion blankets putting on it stabilizes it. So I believe I can come up with a plan. I just think I've got to talk to staff. And unfortunately, I'm going on vacation next week, but I've got this week to try and contact Michael and also Jim and see
Okay.
if I can work something. We'd like to continue this if we could and see where we are.
Okay.
Your 2 variances, was the first variance to replace the existing dwelling in the exact same footprint? Is that, because that might have been, I mean, and now it would be an as-of-right activity. The second variance, you enlarged the dwelling, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll have to look back to see, to be sure whether or not the regs had addressed slope at the time of,
But if they didn't, you can't write a regulation that affects something that's been approved previously. is,
We're gonna have to look at it, and, you know, you may be coming in for another, trying to get on the zoning board of appeals August meeting. I know you just got hit with, well, Friday, I think you were, you know, and I'm not sure about the well property. I think that that's important to get straight with the CEO about whether or not you need a variance for that property. You know, just to certify that the slope is not over 25%. I think at the last meeting you said it wasn't. So I don't think there's as much question on that lot in terms of needing a variance or a modification of a variance. There's been no variance granted on this parcel though, right? The well parcel.
Right.
Okay.
I think that, in my professional opinion as a planner, that's the one we need to work on. I believe that really the lakeside is really grandfathered in by the variances that were granted.
And-
We did show all the walls on the stairs, the AC pad, chimney, they specifically reference it in the variance language itself.
All right, so I think the best thing to do is, how's our timing? Pam?
Yeah, there's plenty.
How's our timing?
Plenty.
So we don't
Plenty,
need-
I mean,
we
at
don't
least
need
for
it.
another 2 weeks. I believe another, it
2
was
weeks
accepted
enough
at
to
July
review?
11th, yeah.
We could grant you additional time.
At least 30 days, so that, because I'm not sure.
We'll want to give you enough time to be able to address this. Pam,
But the request needs to come from the applicant that, because August 22nd is the next regular meeting of this commission. I believe it's August 17th is the next wetlands meeting. You know, if you're gonna need a modification there too, unfortunately. So you probably would want a continuance from this commission at least until the next regular first regular meeting in September.
Did you put any thought into a remediation plan as far as like after the well is drilled, like a retaining wall system?
No, we didn't get, really what we wanted to do was put the slope back and then cover it with erosion blankets, which you know, you use on 2-to-1 slopes.
Right.
This isn't 2-to-1. The main portion of the slope itself is 22%. You know, you have a bank that comes up from where they cut the road, when they cut the road in, it's probably 4 or 5 feet high. But the slope going up from that point is 22%. So it's not a steep slope. And what we would do is stabilize it, put the erosion blankets down, and a mix of grass and crown vetch, which is a low-growing kind of shrub plant that is used on steep 2-to-1 slopes when you need to stabilize it. That would be the cover material that would stabilize the slope back to its original condition and getting the grass and that up. We can even think about some additional plantings that would help to hold the slope. But we really don't want to get into extensive construction because now you've got a lot of disturbance in a long period of time. The only thing we could potentially do is cut where the well goes, so we're at a lower elevation. But my thought is just put it back the way it is, and it's going to be fine as long as we put down materials that are going to hold the slope and don't allow it to erode away before you get growth. And the erosion blankets are designed on a 2-to-1 slope to stabilize it and hold it until you have vegetation coming through. So
I'm just saying, I mean, I spoke with a well driller, it's a very close friend of mine. And I told him about the size of lot, and I mean, he doesn't have the track well drillers, he's a regular well driller. And he said, absolutely not, there's no way the truck is 40 foot long.
Right.
I would never be able to get up anything close to a 20% or even a 15% slope. He says, I wouldn't even try it with my truck, it won't do it. I guess it's, he has stabilizers, the rig has to be level, and it can only go up like 1.5 or 2 feet difference in grade from the front to the back in 40 feet, and that's it. And to back that up, he said it would never happen. So you're gonna be using an artesian driller which is gonna take more than a day. My neighbors did an artesian well, and I think it took them 4 to 6 weeks to get the well drilled. So you're gonna be disturbing this for a while anyway. And this person also elated to a similar project around the lake that had been approved with a retaining wall system. And it never got done, but it was approved with that system. And that was the only way that the board allowed it. So just giving you a little,
One of the issues for us is where the road right of way actually is on the water side, it actually is the edge of pavement, is the right of way limit. And in some areas, it actually, the pavement's on private property. It goes 30 feet into the lot, the well side lot, so that the town owns 30 feet back from the road. And if you're building walls to get up, you've got to get over that initial 30 feet.
Which is an interesting question. You don't have a definition of how you measure the grade, and where do you start measuring it? Usually with planning and zoning issues, you measure it at the property line.
That's a good point. All right, so I think the best thing to do is if you take some additional time to go ahead and do what you need to do, and if we can get the signed 30-day extension as well, just to keep us protected.
And we'll agree to that on the record.
So we need a motion from the commission to continue this public
I'll
hearing.
make a motion to continue PZC 2209, special permit applicant owner Sherwood Dawson, and PZC 2208, special permit Sherwood Dawson, till our first meeting in September,
September 12th.
September 12th.
Okay, we have a second. Second from John. Any discussion of the motion? All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, let me just assemble all this stuff. All right, the next application is item number 7A, PZC 22-10. It's a request for a special permit, applicant Tom Gianni, owner Winston Central LLC, location 175 Main Street. Proposal mixed-use building, restaurant on first floor, 4 residential units on the second and third floor.
So,
Yes.
tonight, with a special permit, you wouldn't be taking much testimony, but for finding that the application's complete. With that, all of the improvements are being done within the interior of the first floor building. Signage has been provided and proposed floor plan. So if the commission finds that acceptable, this is similar to other buildings on Main Street, where site plan hasn't necessarily been submitted, but the application accepted nonetheless, to see the redevelopment and tenants going into empty spaces. These buildings are allowed, these mixed-use buildings are allowed with a special permit. However, there's none on file because they predate the zoning. So whenever you go to change, it triggers the requirement for a special permit application.
Thank you. So, I looked at it, see that it is interior. So we'd like to, we're gonna have a busy meeting on the 22nd.
You could, but, I think he's eager to get going. No building permits can be issued until zoning is satisfied, if you.
Already signage up there.
What's that?
There's already signage.
The
up there.
signage is coming soon.
Okay. So we need a motion from the commission to set this up for the August 22nd meeting for a special
I'll make
permit.
a motion, we schedule a public hearing for PZC 22-10, special permit Tom Gianni, on August 22nd.
We have a second? Second. Second from John. Discussion of the motion. All in favor? Okay. All right, let's see. So next item is the July 25th regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of July 25th meeting.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments with regards to it, the seated members? All in favor? All right, communications, Pam?
I don't have any communications, so staff report, I'll just give you a rundown on what's been happening in town. A wetlands permit was received for the parcel behind, the Ledgebrook Plaza. It's on, it doesn't have an assigned number, it's New Hartford Road, that's, Tractor Supply
Yes.
is going in there.
Tractor Supply is going in there?
Another one?
A new one.
No,
They're gonna take that all down?
I don't know what's happening to the Barkhamsted Tractor Supply. I know that Winstead's getting a Tractor Supply.
Wow, that's weird.
So down at the end, in that open.
It's in that open
Yeah.
field area.
Car track was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
But they're like right next door to each other, right?
Yeah,
Basically.
for now.
They must be closing the other one.
Yeah.
So, that will,
owns that plaza, so just
Well, then you're,
yeah.
you're gonna tell them.
It's a
something.
different parcel
Yeah,
than
no,
the
I
one
know.
where,
No, I know
yeah,
that.
so, you know, there's no, direct wetlands impact, just regulated, areas, so it'll make
We
its
got
way.
the tax money hit.
It'll make its way through wetlands and then it'll be before you.
They got water and sewer.
Sorry,
there.
Barkhamsted, you lose.
So 536 Main Street is the Kent Pizza Building. There, a new tenant is going in there, a hairstylist.
Oh, in the little corner.
Yeah, she's,
Oh, where the hair
Yep.
salon
Where
was.
Frank was?
Good.
yep, she's a, yeah,
closing down.
no,
Oh,
No,
geez.
no, it's where Frank Galliano's.
Don't say that.
no, she's, a young girl. It's gonna be one seat to, begin with, one chair. And all she's doing is hair. I don't think she was doing any kind of, no, she is doing a bit of cosmetology. She is from the, she's a local Gilbert graduate, and, she sounds, I had the pleasure of meeting her as she was filling out her zoning permit, and she plans to partner with the school and do some pro bono work for whatever you call it, for, some of the students at prom time, like she, very civic minded.
Cool.
Great.
So 398 Main Street is the former Winchester Hotel. And we've had some tenants there. They had come before you for a special permit application. So what we have there now is the mortgage company, the golf swing analysis. His wife is doing a smoothie shop, and that was granted through a zoning permit. We have a massage therapist who is also going to be occupying some space in there. So just to, before any business opens, the fire marshal always goes in and inspects the room prior to, being officially open. And that doesn't occur until after the zoning permit. So just to make sure that we know exactly how that space is getting fitted out and that everything is good. The building official, the zoning enforcement officer, and the fire marshal are gonna pop in on Thursday morning and just kind of check it out. Liv was a boutique, and then she branched off and opened a second location opposite Dairy Queen. That's called Live at Home. The way her business has unfolded, she's going to move her boutique down with the home business, so they'll, and kind of merge into the larger space, but she's still maintaining the presence at 398 Main Street, and she's going to open Live Enchanted, which is, so she's going to have 3 lives in town, and she's got a very loyal, popular, anyone who's been in the store, she definitely has a great following, and she's a great addition to the community. She's that's gonna be like metaphysical and sage and, you know, those types of products. Then there's one more, on 242 Main Street, next to Papa Boba, which, you know, was Tony Hang's, store. There was a nail salon that had opened right before COVID, unfortunately, and I don't think, you know, they were able to. There's a new smoothie shop going in there that's going to be called Queen of Juice and Food, which is going to be, you know, all smoothies, salads, cold foods, natural juices, and that's what's going in there.
Where's the health food store going?
The health food store, they were contemplating maybe switching locations, but currently they're not going anywhere.
Okay, because I just read that.
And
Okay.
they, you know, they were also, you know, it's a husband and wife, you know.
Husband owns the golf thing.
Yes, yep.
Are you talking about Rooted? That
Well, it used to be rooted. Oh, no, it is rooted now.
Yeah.
Bob Bailey's daughter,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. So a lot
So
of
it's not
activity.
moving?
What's that?
It's not
They're
moving?
not,
Not currently, not, you know, there was maybe some thoughts, some consideration, but nothing official, no.
The storefronts.
yeah, everybody see this August 2nd letter from our zoning enforcement and a summary of what he's doing?
Yeah, everyone did get a copy of
Pending.
that.
Everybody did get, you know, some of the packets.
So under communications, that should be noted that there was a report
A lot
given
of
out.
people living in houses without COs, it looks like, huh?
What's that?
A lot of COs that, people are living in houses that didn't have a CO.
That, yeah, hopefully they have temporary COs, but I'm not sure that they do. So our new building official is, beginning.
We got somebody.
We have he's an ABO, so he'll need to and will continue to work under our interim building officials. His name. can
What
we
is
go?
the AVO?
ABO is an assistant building official where, he's not,
Certified, yeah, then.
correct, not with the full authority that a BO has in terms of being able to sign off on permits and COs. He can do inspections, but he definitely reports to, you know, and that's coming. His full certification is hopefully coming. I think it was done in New Hartford, if you recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is he coming from? From New Hartford?
This will be his first stint, but he's got 30 years' experience
Construction.
in construction as a contractor.
Who is it?
Bill Petroface,
William Petroface.
Why does that sound?
Torrington.
He's got,
Goes to me, too.
he's got a building on Riverside Avenue in Torrington with a sign on it that says William Petroface Building and Remodeling. Probably seen it.
It's a cool name. Memorable.
Right across from
Yeah.
the auto body shop down there.
Yeah, August 22nd, he begins.
No, okay, good, we're making progress. with the-
Cousin Dan is a police
Okay,
officer.
so,
Yeah, I know all them guys, yeah.
everybody, if you haven't read through this from our CEO,
It's kind of astonishing to read all this stuff.
yeah, it is, but it's, so anyways, but go through it. Troy's been talking about asking him to attend one of our meetings so that we can kind of make friends with him and also have him listen to us a little bit about what we're concerned about.
I've been talking about for him attend every other meeting, like
Yeah,
once a month.
Yeah.
regular attendance
Yeah,
kind of thing, once a month.
Yeah, once
so-
a month.
Because this is, as I say. kind
There's
of-
a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Is that, you're closed
Yes.
with yours? Okay.
Yep.
So other business under 11 is reminder of the August 2nd, 22nd public information meeting on the draft affordable housing plan. So, big thing is to go through our POCD, if you can, read that and just become a little more familiar with it so we can ask questions and go through that, because they're looking to see if we'll consider making this as
Appending it to your POC.
to the POCD. But I think there's quite a few questions that I have, and I think it's gonna be a good session.
Is that part of their I mean, explain, I mean, they'll explain, I'm sure, but do we have to do that?
No.
Is somebody looking for that to happen in terms of?
That's what I
the
understand.
process?
That's what I understand. They're gonna.
But it's not an official.
It's not a requirement.
Request
No.
to this board. to do it.
The town adopting a plan is required by statute, but that's as far as the statute requirement.
Well, we already have a plan, that's why.
No, I mean the affordable housing.
An
plan.
actual affordable housing
You
plan the
actually-
town
you
has
have to
have.
do this.
Don't we have something in the POCD about that?
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just review that if you
Right.
could, take the time to do that. We got it in 2 weeks.
We're not making decisions on the 22nd.
You're not obligated to do anything on the 22nd.
Not yet. State's trying.
Yeah, they're trying, along with other things.
So anyways, just review the POCD if you could and look at the appropriate sections that have some bearing on this. And, does everybody have a copy of this draft? Of the
I
plan?
think,
Affordable housing, yeah,
Yeah.
well, Pam distributed
Yeah.
it last,
Okay, just
last
wanted to
week
make
or
sure.
2 weeks ago.
All right.
I'll print more out for that night. I'll have some available for folks that attend.
Say
And
we're gonna have a lot of people here?
you're gonna have some, probably.
So, with all that in mind, any other questions from anybody on the?
Nothing from court on ECAD, our court case there yet?
No.
No, okay.
I think I reported at the last meeting that one of the developers had asked to move the building, to lose the retaining wall, without needing to come back before wetlands and
At
planning and
ECAD?
zoning, and without,
At ECAD?
yes, and
No. No, it's just,
There's already a lot of things that
it's already been
we're
approved.
trying to get it cleared
No,
up.
There's
Right.
a complete change, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
No, I was just wondering about the court
Yeah.
case, if there's.
no word
It's
yet.
been quiet, since that's been a couple
Right.
months since,
That's a
That
good
was heard.
question, Peter. Thank you.
so.
All right, anybody else have anything else?
Just like to tell, that you missed a good meeting with the 3 boards.
Oh, yeah, good.
Oh, yeah, well,
That was a really a good meeting.
I
down
think
Mallory
everybody
Brook
else
Plaza
was
until
there.
6 o'clock,
Yeah.
sunburn, so.
No, I think we made some
Yeah.
headway. and-
Did you, I was gonna ask you how that whole thing went.
Yeah, it was a good meeting. Everybody here attended it. And we had a good discussion. There was some ideas that came up. So we'll start talking about that. We've gotta do something with a parking plan that's not associated with a building.
Right.
Because we've got one over on Meadow Street right now.
Yeah, we've gotta come up with regulation for parking lots.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've got some things that we wanna work on, so I figured just keep that in mind from what we've seen and what we participated with. Cause that was good, I was surprised, we had really a good turnout.
Oh, that's good.
Trying to get away from overlapping boards, cause
Yeah.
one of the members that
Yes.
was involved
Yep.
went through 4 different commissions to do
Yeah.
something that could've been
That's
done in
what
2.
started, yeah.
I mean, that's,
Well, we're
Well, I
seeing
mean,
it, yeah, I mean, and his suggestion was to possibly review what we've got for setbacks up there in the Highland Lake District. And we left it at pretty much what it was,
Right.
because it is an intensely popular area and needs to be scrutinized appropriately. And I don't think that people have been held up a lot. I mean, it's obviously
And the big
there's,
thing, most of everything that's been going on at Highland Lake has been take down and rebuild, and
right, right,
you have to do it in the same footprint, pretty much. You know, so the setbacks haven't changed.
yeah.
any
But at
there.
least the way we've changed it too was, ZBA now has, they can take a joint exercise and take things that used to come here and go to them.
Right.
So
And they
this
can
is-
act on it.
Yeah, they
One
can
stop
act on it.
shopping there.
That's right. So,
we need to
Yeah, I
work
mean-
on the driveway ordinance.
yeah, the driveway thing came up, that's right. So that was an interesting addition, I think, at the end. And, but that's gotta go to the selectmen, because that's part of the,
They have to get rid
Part of
of
the
that.
town ordinance.
yeah.
They could give it to us or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when we have an application come in, we can deal with that, and we get input from town staff, like Rollins and
Right.
whatever we're supposed to get, so. But yeah, glad you brought that up. All right, so if there's nothing else, then we'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for, thanks to the two.
Gotta make it to Dairy Queen before they close.
Do what?
You gotta make it to Dairy Queen before they close.
You got the 9 o'clock, don't you?
Walking orders
I don't
before you
know.
leave.
Where my son's in
You can do that. Ice cream kind of nice.
water his plants.
Boy, it is. Been a little too much of this.
I'm buying.
You better open that Harley up a little, you better open that Harley up, get the dust and the cobwebs off it.
I can handle that part.
Okay.
That's what he's been sidetracked to. Take care of what he's.
Bye,
doing.
guys.
Thanks, guys, appreciate it.
She's home?
No, she's at convalescent, she went in there actually this today.